Have you ever wondered what truly makes the difference between a joyful old age and a life filled with regret after 80? When the calendar rolls past your 81st birthday, life takes on a new rhythm. It's natural at this age to look back and wonder what you might have done differently, or to worry that time is slipping by without much meaning left to seize. But there is a surprising truth. You still hold the keys to your happiness and peace, no matter your age. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 things you should focus on after 80 to avoid falling into misery or loneliness. These are not just empty ideas, but powerful actions and perspectives that can help you find purpose, joy, and comfort even in your later years. Maybe you've heard advice like this before, but I promise you, if you stick around and hear each point, you'll see your situation in a new light. There's no reason to settle for surviving when you could be thriving even now. Stay tuned until the end, because what I'm about to share might not just protect you from misery, but may just spark a fresh sense of hope and energy for the years ahead. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Prioritizing your own well-being. After 80, one of the most important things you can do is put your own well-being first, sometimes for the first time in your life. Many folks who reach this age have spent decades looking after others, whether it was raising children, supporting a spouse, working hard for the family, or caring for friends and neighbors. You probably grew used to putting your own needs aside. That's a wonderful legacy of service. But if you want to avoid misery in your later years, it's time to give yourself permission to be at the center of your own attention. This doesn't mean shutting people out or turning your back on loved ones. Instead, it's about making sure you're not neglecting your health, your comfort, or your happiness anymore. I've seen too many folks, good-hearted, generous men and women, suffer in silence because they felt guilty for choosing themselves. They worried about being seen as selfish, so they kept on overextending, all while their energy and joy quietly drained away. Think about what it would feel like to honor your own preferences every once in a while. That could mean saying no to things that leave you exhausted, or yes to little pleasures. A cup of your favorite coffee in the morning, a short walk when the sun is out, or a peaceful hour reading that old mystery novel you love. It might mean visiting the doctor even when you'd rather put it off, just to be sure you're taking good care of yourself. Or maybe it's letting yourself take a nap in the middle of the day because your body is telling you to rest. The truth is, self-care at 80 isn't about grand gestures. It's the small, steady habits that add up to a sense of well-being. Are you eating foods that nourish you? Are you moving your body every day, even if it's just around the house or garden? Do you take a little time for quiet, reflection, or prayer? It's these daily choices that can add richness to your life, keep you resilient, and ward off that creeping sense of emptiness that so often sneaks in when we forget ourselves. You might notice that as you begin to care for yourself more, you feel a new sense of dignity, almost like you're honoring all the years you spent giving to others. You become a model for your friends and family, showing them that it's never too late to treat yourself with kindness and respect. And here's something interesting. When you take care of yourself, you'll find you have more patience, more love, and more energy for the people around you too. Putting yourself first after 80 isn't an act of selfishness. It's a way to reclaim your life, to make sure the days you have left are filled with purpose and comfort. Remember, you've earned the right to focus on your own needs. It's time to make the most of it. Number 2, staying open to new experiences. One of the quiet dangers that creeps in after 80 is the slow narrowing of your world. It can be so easy to fall into routines, to say, "I've seen it all," or to convince yourself that you're too old for new things. The truth is, when you stop reaching out for new experiences, life can begin to shrink around you. That shrinking is where misery finds its way in. Not just loneliness, but a dullness that makes each day blend into the next. It's tempting to settle into familiar habits and let curiosity fade. But maintaining a sense of openness to the world is one of the strongest defenses you have against feeling isolated or forgotten. New experiences don't have to be grand adventures or expensive trips. They might be as simple as trying a new recipe, learning to play a card game you've never tried, picking up a pencil and sketching something just for fun, or listening to a style of music you always thought wasn't for you. Each time you do, you invite a little spark of life back in. Staying open also means making room for new friendships or reconnecting with people you haven't seen in years. It can be as small as greeting someone at the grocery store or picking up the phone to call an old friend. You'd be surprised how many people, especially after 80, are waiting for someone else to make the first move. Sometimes it takes a little courage to step out of your comfort zone and say yes to something unfamiliar, but those are often the moments that fill your heart with joy and purpose. I remember meeting a man named Walter who picked up painting at 82. He had never touched a paintbrush before in his life, but decided to take a class at the local community center just to see what would happen. Not only did he discover a new passion, but he made friends he never would have met otherwise. Every week, those painting sessions gave him something to look forward to. He'd tell me, "You know, it feels good to surprise yourself at this age. The more you say yes to new things, no matter how small, the less likely you are to slip into that stale feeling that life has passed you by." In fact, novelty can keep your mind sharp, your spirit young, and your conversations lively. Even if something doesn't turn out the way you hoped, the simple act of being open keeps you engaged with the world. And don't let setbacks or health problems be the reason you close yourself off. If you're unable to get around as much as you used to, there are still books to read, shows to watch, stories to write, or memories to share. Sometimes opening up to new experiences means letting your family in on your memories, telling stories your grandchildren have never heard, or passing down a recipe that's been in your family for generations. The lesson here is simple. Misery after 80 often comes not from the world itself, but from the walls we build in our minds. Tear down a few of those walls, and life has a way of coming back in. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, embracing emotional honesty. There's a quiet strength in reaching 80, but there's also a kind of vulnerability that most folks aren't comfortable talking about. The world expects us, as we age, to just accept life as it is and keep our struggles to ourselves. But if you want to avoid the shadow of misery after 80, one of the best things you can do is practice emotional honesty with yourself and with others. It's easy to believe that hiding your feelings or keeping up a strong front is the dignified thing to do. Maybe you grew up in a time when talking about sadness or loneliness was seen as a weakness. Maybe you learned to swallow your worries and keep moving, no matter how much pain you carried inside. But over the years, those bottled-up emotions can grow heavy. The truth is, pretending that you're never lonely or that nothing bothers you doesn't make the hard feelings go away. In fact, it often makes them stronger and gives them more power over your life. So, what does emotional honesty look like after 80? Sometimes it's as simple as admitting to yourself when you're struggling. Other times, it means reaching out to a friend or family member and telling them, "I've been having a hard time lately." It might mean crying when you feel sad or laughing out loud when something is funny. Instead of worrying about how others will see you, there's a kind of freedom that comes with letting yourself feel whatever comes up without judging it or pushing it away. A woman I knew named Dorothy, who lived well into her 90s, used to tell me, "You're only as old as the secrets you keep." What she meant was that the more you try to hide your true feelings, the more isolated and stuck you become. Dorothy lost her husband in her early 80s, and for a long while she pretended she was doing just fine. But the turning point came when she joined a local grief group and began talking honestly about what she was going through. She often said that sharing her story lifted a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying. Opening up emotionally isn't about seeking pity or complaining, it's about connecting. When you let your guard down and share what's real, whether it's joy, sorrow, regret or gratitude, you give other people permission to do the same. These genuine conversations, even if they start with a little discomfort, can lead to the most meaningful relationships of your later years. Another part of emotional honesty is being patient with yourself. As you age, some days will be better than others. There may be mornings when you feel strong and independent, and others when you feel tired, anxious, or just plain down. That's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of being human. The more you accept this and treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a good friend, the easier it is to move through those tougher days. You might also find that writing down your thoughts, whether in a journal or just on a scrap of paper, helps you see patterns in your feelings and track the things that truly lift your spirits. Over time, this simple habit can build emotional resilience, making you less likely to be overwhelmed when life takes an unexpected turn. What really matters is not pretending that you're always okay, but allowing yourself the space to be fully human, strong and vulnerable, wise and still learning. Misery takes root when you bury your truth, but joy and connection blossom when you let your feelings be seen and heard, both by yourself and those around you. Embrace emotional honesty and you'll discover a source of strength that can carry you through even the most difficult seasons of life. Number 4. Nurturing meaningful connections. After 80, the quality of your relationships can have a bigger impact on your well-being than almost anything else. Too many seniors fall into the trap of thinking that social life is for the young or that real friendship is out of reach in later years. But nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, nurturing meaningful connections, whether with family, old friends, or new faces, is one of the most powerful antidotes to misery you'll ever find. Many folks assume that as you age, your world naturally grows smaller. Children move away, old friends pass on, and sometimes the people you used to see every day become distant memories. So there's a quiet pain in that, a sense of loss that can make you want to turn inward and avoid reaching out. But human beings are wired for connection, no matter how many years we've seen. The simple truth is, loneliness is not a requirement of old age, but it is a risk, one that you can address by making the effort to build and maintain real bonds. Start with what you have. Maybe there are family members you haven't spoken to in a while, or old friends whose numbers are buried in your address book. Pick up the phone, send a letter, or invite someone over for coffee. Sometimes you may need to be the one who takes the first step. Don't let pride or worry about being a burden hold you back. Most people at any age are grateful for a reminder that someone is thinking of them. New connections can be just as rewarding as old ones. If you've moved to a new place or found your social circle shrinking, look for opportunities to meet people in your community. That might be joining a senior center, a book club, a faith group, or a volunteer project. I've known people in their 80s who form new friendships over a shared love of gardening, chess, or simply going for a morning walk in the neighborhood park. There is no expiration date on the joy that comes from feeling seen and valued. And remember, nurturing relationships isn't only about being surrounded by people all the time. It's about depth, not just numbers. A single meaningful conversation can lift your spirits far more than a dozen superficial exchanges. Be willing to listen as much as you speak, to offer encouragement and understanding, and to share a bit of your own story when the moment feels right. Sometimes the most lasting bonds are built in simple honesty and a willingness to be present. Don't overlook the importance of kindness either. A smile, a word of thanks, or a small favor can create ripples that go farther than you realize. When you act with genuine warmth and consideration, you often find that others respond in kind. And even if they don't, you'll know you've added a bit of light to someone's day. That's no small thing. Misery grows in the shadow of isolation, but connection is the sunlight that helps you thrive. By reaching out, staying open to new relationships, and nurturing the bonds you already have, you can fill your life with laughter, support, and the quiet comfort of knowing you belong. After 80, meaningful connections aren't just possible, they're essential. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Cultivating a spirit of gratitude. One of the greatest lessons that life teaches us, especially as we grow older, is the profound power of gratitude. By the time you reach 80, you've weathered many storms, losses, health scares, disappointments, and all sorts of unexpected twists. It's natural to sometimes feel weighed down by these memories, to let regret or bitterness creep in, especially on the tougher days. But if you want to keep misery at bay, one of the most effective practices you can embrace is cultivating a spirit of gratitude. Gratitude isn't just about saying thank you when something goes your way. It's about training your mind to focus on what remains, not just on what has been lost. Even in the face of hardship or daily aches, there's always something to notice: a gentle breeze, a grandchild's laughter, a meal that tastes just right, or even a moment of peace while watching the sunset from your favorite chair. Sometimes these small joys are easy to overlook, but making the effort to recognize them can shift your whole outlook on life. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending that everything is perfect. It means letting yourself see the good alongside the hard, and choosing to let that goodness carry a little more weight. Some people like to keep a gratitude journal, jotting down a few things each evening that brought them comfort or delight. Others simply make a habit of saying a quiet "thank you" before bed, or sharing something positive at the dinner table with loved ones. There's no right or wrong way to do it. The key is consistency. I once knew a man named Richard who, after losing his wife at 85, struggled for a long time with sadness and loneliness. He started the simple practice of writing down 3 good things that happened each day, even if they seemed small or ordinary. Some days it was just, "the soup was hot and tasty," or "the neighbor's dog wagged its tail at me." Over time, Richard told me those little notes reminded him that even on the hardest days, there was always something to be thankful for. Slowly but surely, his mood lifted, and he found himself able to appreciate life again. Science backs this up too. Studies show that practicing gratitude can boost your mood, strengthen your immune system, and even improve your relationships. When you look for things to be grateful for, you train your brain to notice more of what's good, which in turn makes the tough moments a little easier to bear. It's not magic, but it does work. Gratitude also gives you perspective. When you focus on what's working rather than what's missing, you remember that you've come a long way. You've survived challenges, learned important lessons, and still have the ability to find beauty and meaning in the everyday. This mindset doesn't erase the difficulties, but it gives you a foundation to stand on when times are tough. Finally, gratitude is something you can share. A heartfelt thank you to a caregiver, a neighbor, or a friend can deepen your connections and spread positivity in ways you might not expect. When you express appreciation, you often inspire others to do the same. This ripple effect is one of the quiet miracles of getting older. Your outlook can brighten not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Misery after 80 doesn't stand much chance when you fill your days, even the hard ones, with little moments of gratitude. Make it a habit, and you may just find more joy, resilience, and peace than you thought possible. Final thoughts. As we wrap up today's conversation, take a quiet moment to reflect on the 5 essential things we've discussed. Prioritizing your own well-being, staying open to new experiences, embracing emotional honesty, nurturing meaningful connections, and cultivating a spirit of gratitude. Which one spoke to you the most? Do you see places in your own life where you could focus a little more, or perhaps let go of old habits that no longer serve you? Growing older brings unique challenges, but it also offers a rare opportunity for self-discovery, healing, and even a sense of adventure. There's no need to accept loneliness or misery as your fate after 80. In fact, by focusing on these key areas, you can find new joy, forge deeper relationships, and create a sense of peace that only someone with a lifetime of experience can truly appreciate. Remember, you are still the author of your story, and every day gives you a chance to add something beautiful to the pages of your life. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.